Hi there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So I figured today we would do our first declutter. So you're looking at my vanity. That's the mirror. This is where I keep candles, some perfumes, brushes, and we're going to start with primers. So here I have putty primers, and these are more glowy primers. And then here are my more gripping primers. So we're just going to go through all of these today, and I will see you in a moment, and we will get started and figure out what we're going to keep and what we're going to get rid of today. So first of all, why don't we start with our putty primers? I have 3 different e.l.f. putty primers. The first is the poreless putty primer. The second one is the matte putty primer. The last one is the luminous putty primer. These are all minis, and I received them as a gift with purchase. So let's start here with our poreless putty primer, the original one. And let's put it right here on our hand and blend it in. So you can see that a little bit of this goes a very long way. This primer just feels really, really good on my skin. It blends in very well. And in this area right here, I feel like it does a good job with the pores when I'm looking to minimize my pores. So we're going to keep this one. The next one is the matte putty primer, and it is kind of more white in color. This primer is designed to mattify your skin so that if you want your makeup to really not be too glowy, it will mattify. So on days where maybe you're looking for a more flawless look, this would be an appropriate primer. And it doesn't feel like it's too drying on my skin either. And you can see that it doesn't change the color of the skin at all. The last of the putty primers that I have is the luminous putty primer. This one, you can just see just a tad bit more glowiness, and it's yellow in color. And this is designed to be in the putty primer collection, I guess is the best word to say. At the same time, it's designed to give you a slight glow within. So I think you can see that glow pretty well. So these I like, these are I'm going to keep. And the original putty primer was originally duped or considered or intended to be a dupe for the Tatcha, the silk canvas primer. The color and everything resembles the Tatcha. So this is the first primer that I ever purchased in my entire life. And I did some research on Birdie because when I started getting into makeup about a year and a half ago, I really didn't know much about primers at all. It comes with this cute little doodad that you can scoop things out. This is my favorite putty primer. It has a nice scent to it. The e.l.f. primers do not have a scent to them. And this, when I really want that flawless canvas look to my skin, and I want my makeup to last for a very long time, I think you can see the difference on my hands from this primer. I feel like it was such a great investment, even though it's a little bit more expensive. I'm really glad I got it. And I would have to say, out of all my putty primers that I have, this one is my favorite. So we're going to keep all 3 of these. Let me put them back in their place so I can stay organized. Next, we're going to go into my glowier primers. And the very first that I purchased was the L'Oreal Gloomy Lotion. Glotion. See, I always say that wrong. Lumi Glotion. So this is a light shade. This is what the little, whatever you call that thing, this is what it looks like. So here we are on the hand. And this is one of the original glowy highlighters. And I think you can see just a really pretty luminosity. It also feels hydrating on the skin. It plays with foundation well. I've never tried this under a powder foundation, but under all of my liquid foundations, this has worked really well. I also have the L'Oreal True Match Liquid Glow Illuminator. This, I believe, can be used kind of as a bronzy type of product or as a highlighter. I use it as a primer. It gives me just a teeny bit of bronziness coverage. It's light enough that I can put it under my foundations, and it just gives me a hint of bronziness with a really pretty glow. So I'll definitely be keeping those two. The next one that I have here is the Milani Bright Side Illuminating Primer. This is the only one that I have from Milani. I'd like to try some more. So here we have a little bit of this. So this is also supposed to be an illuminating primer. And I feel like this has a little bit more luminosity than the Glotion. So if you're in the mood to really, really glow, look at that. It's kind of like a golden champagne-y glow. I believe you could use this as a very subtle highlighter as well. So I enjoy that one. I'm going to keep that one. Next up is the Shades by Sean. I received this, I believe, in a boxy charm. I have a bronzer by Shades by Sean, and I have a primer. And this one is supposed to be a hydrating primer. So I put it in the glowy category. So to me, this just feels like a nice lotion. It's not too thick, it's not too goopy. I don't feel like it has a luminosity. It's more of moisturizing. And so it feels good. I didn't remember if there was a smell to it. There's not a smell to it. This does not have an SPF. It doesn't do anything special, just kind of like a lotion on my skin. So this one I am going to declutter because I just don't feel like it serves a special purpose in my collection. I have a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Filter Highlighter. And so this is an iconic product. It is truly beautiful. It has really no extra coverage as far as using it as a foundation as well. I wouldn't really do that, but the glow is beautiful. So you could use this all over your face for an all over very beautiful glow, or you could use this on the high points of your face just to highlight your cheeks, maybe your brow bone up here in your temples. This is a really versatile product, so it can be used in many different ways. This is a new favorite of mine, Essence Hello Good Stuff. This is a watermelon scented glowy primer, and I feel like this under my makeup, not only does it add a layer of moisture, but I believe that it also adds a supernatural, almost sheen under my makeup. It feels really good. And so far it has played very well with all of my products. The next glowier product I wanted to mention is the Say Illuminator. Now this Say can be used so many different ways. I'm putting it in my primer category because that's how I like to use it. I like to use it strategically before I go in with makeup, and then maybe at the very end dot a little bit, like up here. You can see how nicely that went on. So I think you can see what an incredible, just stunning glow this gives. Really, really popular product, and I feel like for good reason, because not only does it give the glow, but it also gets along and works well with all of the liquid foundations that I have tried it with so far. So I'm definitely keeping this. We have the Keys Illuminating Primer. This is Alicia Keys brand. It's called Let Me Glow, and it's an illuminating serum. So let's see if we can pump a little bit here of this. There we go. So this claims to be illuminating. And this is a thinner consistency. So it's not quite as heavy as really a cream. It's a little lighter even than a lotion, I would say. Very thin, feels nourishing. It goes on the skin very well, and it goes under products very well. Again, I don't feel like it gives a shimmer so much as it just gives a sheen under the skin, and it comes through your foundation, through your makeup. And the last glowy product that I have is my favorite, and that is the e.l.f. This is the Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Right here. This is in the shade 2. This one always makes a funny noise when you open it. And it has a doe foot applicator. So let's put it here where it's drier. This is my favorite. And it's my favorite because I love the glow. I love the texture. I love the thickness. And because this, in addition to glowing, can be used on light coverage, no makeup days. So I love this because it can be used as a glowy primer, but also it can be used as a light foundation. So that's why it's my favorite product. Also the affordability of it. So far we've only decluttered one item. That's okay. I don't have a huge collection, as you can see. We're going to start working on this hand now with our gripping primers. The first one that I want to highlight is the H2O primer. This is from the new brand Relove. Let me just pump some out on my finger so that you can see it. This is clear. It is a watery gel. It has a super light, very fresh, clean scent. I feel like it absorbs into the skin really well, and it's not too sticky. Like right now, that doesn't feel annoyingly sticky. At the same time, I feel like if I really need my foundation to adhere to my face really well, I feel like it would be very effective. And so I am so glad I have this new one from Relove in my collection now. The next one that I received as a gift with purchase is from Ulta. It has this really interesting, whatever you call that thing. I'll have to look that up. What's the official name? It's clear, and it's the most similar, in my opinion, to the NYX that I used. I'll show that to you in a minute. So this is not as watery as this. This feels more like a gel cream to me. and it's not as sticky as the Relove. At the same time, it melts right into the skin and it feels like it will give any makeup a good base. I think this would feel really, really good under longer lasting, higher coverage foundations. And so that's how I've been using it. I've used it with the new Essence foundation and the new NYX Bear With Me Blur foundation. And this is unlike any of my other gripping primers. The consistency is like a gel cream. This one is the Wander Glow Ahead, and it's called an Illuminating Face Oil. So this kind of comes out like a pink cream on the skin. And again, it's very watery. It's not, doesn't really feel oily. It doesn't really feel like a gel. It feels like a weird water. And I think it has a little bit of a shine to it, a little bit too shimmery almost. And the consistency, it doesn't feel moisturizing. It doesn't feel hydrating. Although it's supposed to be a face oil, it doesn't feel like an oil. It just feels like you're almost putting a watery substance on your skin. I don't feel like it really serves a purpose. And so for that reason, I'm going to declutter this one. The next primer that I have, let me get another makeup wipe, is the Cover FX. This is a gripping primer from Cover FX. So this is how it comes out. Clear. And so this is like a gel cream. Similar in consistency to the Relove. It's a little bit tackier. Just a little bit tackier than the Relove. It's a little bit thicker, kind of a cushionier, more consistency than the Relove as well. This one I'm going to think about while I compare it to these other ones. This one's kind of borderline too sticky, but I want it to compare it to even stickier ones and then kind of go back and think about it a little bit more. The NYX Plump Right Back primer is my very favorite gripping primer. I'll put it over here. Okay, so this is clear in consistency, and it feels like a thick, pillowy gel on the skin. The thing I like about it is, although it is gripping, it is not overly sticky. I find that some of these really sticky gripping primers, they just get on my nerves. They just make my face feel like it's claustrophobic. I feel like this is grippy, but not sticky. That rhymes. Okay. So that's my very favorite gripping primer, the NYX Plump Right Back. Another NYX primer that I have is the Honeydew primer. This again is another gripping primer, and it has this paddle, and that's how you apply it to your face, is using the paddle. I don't know if you can see that string right there. And so you would think that because of that, it would be super sticky and super, super grippy, but it actually feels nourishing and moisturizing. There's no stick at all. It feels like it'll grip my foundation to my face, but it doesn't feel sticky at all. And I really enjoy this primer. There's no scent to it, just kind of to let those of you know who are sensitive to scents. This is where we start getting into the stickier ones that kind of, as I've gotten older, I feel like they're a little bit too much. So I want to just try them one more time before I give them away. The first one is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop. This is a dew primer. That's what it says. And boy, do I love the way this smells. Let's see, I use this side, so we're going to use this side now. I don't think you can see this. Let me put some more on here. There, now you can see it. So, it's clear. It is dripping a little bit, you can see, but oh my goodness. That is goopy, sticky. Oh, my word. Smells really good, but it is just so goopy and sticky. And when I use this on my face, I just feel like I just have glue on my face. And I just feel like my other gripping primers don't stick quite that much, but they still give me the gripping that I need. And so for that reason, oh, I hate to do this because I do love the smell, but I am going to give this one away. The next e.l.f. product that I have is the Mint Melt. This is another gripping primer from e.l.f. And again, this one is clear. Well, no, it's not really clear. It's kind of light blue in texture. And it is just as it is more grippy and sticky than the last one. This makes the last one feel not sticky. This one is so sticky and grippy. And so maybe for people like with super oily skin who have a real problem, especially like around their nose, maybe the inner part of their cheeks, their forehead, with makeup caking up and breaking up after a few hours, this may be an ideal product for them. But for me, it just makes my face feel like it can't breathe. Feels like it's suffocating my face. So this is the last e.l.f. product that I have. This one is so popular. The Power Grip Primer. And this is supposed to be a milk primer dupe. Again, this one has a light blue consistency. They now have it in a pink color, which is supposed to have niacinamide in it. And again, just for me personally, some people love this. And I have a feeling that for oily skin, this is a dream. But for me, it's just overkill. And I don't feel like my makeup goes on evenly. It may be my application. And so for that reason, just the fact that it just feels uncomfortable on my face, I'm going to declutter this. So that's all of my primers. So let's go over the primers that I have decided to declutter. I am going to declutter the Cover FX, the Shades by Sean, e.l.f. Mint, the Wander Glow Face Oil, e.l.f. Jelly Pop, e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. The gripping primers that I'm going to keep in my collection are the Relove Hydrating Primer, the NYX Honey Primer, NYX Plump It Right Back Primer, and the Ulta Face Primer. The glowy primers that I am going to keep are the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, Milani Bright Side. This is another L'Oreal Lumi, more bronzy illumination. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Keys Illuminating Primer, Essence Hello Good Stuff, the Say Illumination Charlotte Tilbury, And then for the putty primers, I'm keeping all 3 of my small e.l.f. putty primers. So we have the matte putty primer, poreless, which is the original, luminous putty primer, and the Tatcha silk canvas. Today I'm getting rid of 6 primers, and I'm keeping 16. So I think that that's good progress for today. This was my very first declutter. And so since I'm kind of newer as far as my collection, I will be doing other declutters, but a lot of other categories, there's not going to be near as much because a lot of these products are still new to me and they're working for me. But I will slowly take you through my collection one category at a time so that you can see what I'm working with, and then we may find some here and there that I decide that we need to find new homes for. I hope you enjoyed this first declutter from me, and I hope that you liked this. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Join my family. We'll have a lot of fun together. If nothing else, I'll try to entertain you. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.